Well, now the political temperatures are only on the rise in Karnataka. But today, the Karnataka Assembly bore witness to scenes that make us question, is this why we elect our representatives? There were intense protests on the part of the BJP, which is of course one of the opposition parties here. Not even the suspension of 10 BJP MLAs and the detention of their leader, Mr. Basuraj Bommai, who's the former chief minister, stopped the party from actually protesting again. There was uproar, there was disruption, papers were flung in the air, ruckus and even legislators being carried away. These were the scenes that were witnessed at the temple of democracy here in Karnataka. This was the hue at the Vidhan Sauda. The proceedings at the Legislative Assembly were disrupted by unprecedented scenes as the BJP MLAs even expressed their discontent over the Speaker's refusal to break for lunch during the House session. Meanwhile, Deputy Speaker Rudrappa Lamani, of course, was presiding over the proceedings in the absence of the Speaker, Mr. U.T. Khadar, who had stated earlier that there would be no lunch break and that the discussions on the budget demands would continue. Meanwhile, of course, there were BJP leaders who continued to protest that, well, IAS officers should not be used for VIP protocol, especially for private meetings like those that were held yesterday and the day before. Karnataka Assembly Speaker Mr. Khadar suggested that the members who wish to have lunch could do so and return for the discussions. Now, as opposition members on the BJP and the JDS protested at the well of the House, alleging that 30 IAS officers were deputed to serve the Congress alliance leaders in preparation for the 2024 Lok Sabha election, the BJP members continued to express their discontent by throwing pieces of paper at the chair of the Deputy Speaker, Mr. Lamani. Now, the question really arises, was this kind of a protest warranted? Now, next question that the BJP also is asking here, was a suspension necessary? Because it was just an emotion-filled protest. It was not something to disrespect the Deputy Speaker is what they claim. But is this what the people who elect the MLAs want to see happening in the Assembly? Instead of fruitful discussions that will help the state of Karnataka, we're looking at this sort of drama unfold day after day. Now, we have multiple reactions that have been coming in. Firstly, let's listen in to the former Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. Basuraj Bommai.
The day Siddaramaiah has taken office, he is doing vendetta politics and he is misusing the office and huge corruption is going on in transfers. We have raised all this to cover up all this. He has used the office of the Speaker. The other day he has used the IAS officers, misused the IAS officers and treated them like chaprasi. And they have to go and stand in front of people who are on bail and non-entity people who are not deserving to be a state guest. They are not eligible. Such people have been given status. And IAS officers in the annals of Karnataka history, no IAS was appointed as a protocol officer. They have violated all the norms.
Tomorrow BJP is trying to go meet the governor. Are you also participating, sir, with them?
Yes, as an opposition party, whatever decision we have to take, unilaterally we will going to take the decision.
Yeah. Also be
Unilaterally we will fight.
Yeah. So what happened? Congress is alleging
No,
Speaker.
today's the arrogancy of the government attitude. For that reason, we have unitedly fight against this government. This government, they have no shame. What is the mistake they have done? There is no shame for them. How they behaved on the floor. For that, actually, we have to unitedly actually fight against that their arrogancy.
So tomorrow you also be joining with the.
Yes, we will jointly fight it out.
Well, we have BJP MLA Mr. Bharath Shetty, one of them who was, of course, named by the Speaker as somebody who's going to be suspended, will not be able to attend, the session that's going to continue. This is, of course, a crucial session, the budget session that's ongoing. Mr. Bharath Shetty, thank you for joining us live and speaking to us. Firstly, I'm going to give you this opportunity to take us through what happened, because we saw protests. We saw, of course, the Speaker refusing to, somewhere acknowledge that these protests should be, again, discussed further. And there were other discussions that were going on. But the kind of, incident that we saw today, especially with the papers being flung, do you think that was warranted?
See, first thing, what is the issue? The issue is about IAS and IPS officer being posted in the political event. They don't have any right. It is not the norms. You can't post IS and IPS officers for a particular political event. They have treated them like they're chaprasis or peons. We objected that and we asked the government to answer that. Why have you done that? They were not ready to answer this question. They didn't answer. They tried to shut us up. Actually, they tried to shut us up. Then when we went into the well and we started protesting, the house was not in order. When the house is not in order, you can't pass bills, you can't pass papers. The speaker went ahead passing papers. The house was not in order. We repeatedly told him, sir, you need to ask what our problem is. You give a solution to this. You cannot let the government run like this. They can't appoint IS officers, IS and IPS officers to all these political events and all. They can't make them do. You can't do that. So the speaker didn't heed for any of our words. He just went on doing his work. Then he knew the heat was on. He asked the deputy speaker to sit in his chair and he just ran away from the scene. He could have adjourned. These things have happened before also. What happens is when there's a protest, the speaker adjourns for 10-15 minutes. He calls all the leaders of both the parties. He speaks to them and they give us a chance to speak about it or they come to a conclusion. The speaker didn't do that. He went ahead with the passing of the papers. So obviously we were trying to make our words heard. And that was not happening. Somebody tore the paper. See, when the MPs in the parliament were suspended, they said it was a...
Well, somebody tore the paper, Mr. Shetty, but we are looking at it being flung at the deputy speaker there. You can see him just sit there. He doesn't know what to do.
Yes.
Well, it was quite embarrassing. And now this is a constitutional post that we're talking about.
Yes. We have a lot of respect for the post. But the speaker is acting like a spokesperson of the Congress. It is he should have taken see, one more thing. Yesterday, the Mahagathbandhan thing was going on. The speaker attended it. How can speaker attend such a program? He went to that program. He went to the Mahagathbandhan program. The speaker is not supposed to take sides. He doesn't belong to any party. When he's a speaker for both of us.
Well, Mr. Shetty, I'm not going to rebut you on any of this. It's your right to protest. It's your democratic right. I'm not going to come and interfere when you are protesting in the well of the house as a MLA there, as an opposition leader there. You should do what is necessary for your party and for the people of the state. My only question to you is: do you think it was right to tear pieces of paper, throw it at the deputy speaker while he was in the chair? Do you think that was right? Do you think that was called for?
I'll tell you something. DK Shivakumar has done this before. I'm not saying this is right or wrong. DK Shivakumar has done this before. They went to the extent of kicking on the door.
Well, he's thrown a piece of paper, Mr. Shetty. He's thrown a piece of paper. I have seen it myself, but it wasn't flung at the speaker's face.
Okay, what about Zamir? He went up to the speaker's chair and he tried to pull the mic. Zamir has done that. They're on their minister. What they did in the Legislative Assembly, they tried to manhandle the speaker. We have not done all those things. When such extreme things were done also, no suspension was done by any speaker. They could have called us before this went to this situation. There was a chance for the speaker to stop this from happening. He could have just adjourned it and called us for a meeting. He refused to do so. He just listened to the Congress leaders and he acted like how the Congress government wanted to run it. He is just helping them. And no one is there to listen to us. So we have to take extreme measures sometimes. That has happened.
Okay. Mr. Shetty, what's the next course of action as far as the BJP is concerned? Because we believe that you're going to go to the governor as well, take a memorandum right now. Could you share some details on that?
There are two things which have happened. One is we have moved a no confidence motion against the speaker. And it has a time period of 10 days, I think. After that, I think it will be in the next assembly session. We have moved, the paper will come, then we'll speak about it in the assembly only. Second thing is, we were arrested after this. After we were suspended, there was a protest outside the Vidhan Sabha. They arrested all of us and we have in the police station and they just released all of us right now. And one of the MLA is in the hospital. He had some health issues because they were manhandling him. Mr. Yatnal is admitted in the hospital. And we are planning to go to the governor, but we have to have a meeting before that. We'll be having a meeting of all the party leaders and the MLAs, then we'll take a call.
Okay, but you're also saying that you are protesting against the IAS officers issue. Now, as far as the government is concerned, they continue to maintain that this was protocol, and many a times it has happened in the past. This is something not something new. There were state guests, there were VVIPs, and they, there was an IAS officer interested to ensure that they didn't have any sort of problems when they came to the state of Karnataka, and they were not misused. Is the statement that's coming from some of the Congress leaders?
See, there was no. Everybody was not a state guest. There were a few state guests. Maybe you can call few or if there's a CM or somebody. They were not state guests. They were just political persons. For political persons, for protection, if you need protection, you send police. Why the IAS officers? Why the IAS officers? Why have sent the IAS officers? Let's discuss about it. No, don't give statements. Let's discuss it in the house. They are now ready to discuss this matter. Second thing is, these are all a diversion technique. They suspended us on purpose because the budget is going on. He has given a bloated budget where he has manipulated the numbers of GSTP. The state GDP has manipulated it properly, and he has to answer. The chief minister has to answer to all those things. So to make our numbers less, to avoid all these things, to distract us from the main issues, they have suspended us.
Okay, Mr. Shetty, before I let you go, one quick question.
Yeah.
Only for the for the act of throwing paper at the speaker's chair, will the BJP MLAs apologize?
No, we need to talk to. No, there's no question of apologizing right now because the speaker should have come to our rescue that time. The speaker should not have let the Congress trample all over us. The ruling party just walked all over us. The speaker shouldn't have let it happen. He is taking sides. He can't take sides. I don't think they are going to apologize.
Okay, Mr. Shetty, thank you for joining us. Well, that's the word from MLA Bharath Shetty, who says right now there is no need to apologize, no question really arises. Thank you for sharing all of those details about what transpired. But definitely questions will arise whether this was something that was warranted and whether this was the behavior that the people expect from our elected representatives. But the BJP believes there was a strong reason to protest. That's why it happened. My colleague Neha, of course, has been tracking all the developments that were taking place at the assembly. Quickly coming to you, Neha, we did witness something that was quite dramatic, to say the least. And it's unprecedented as well. We've seen drama unfold in the well of the House. But today, some of them were injured. Some of them had to be taken in an ambulance. Some of them being carried out of the assembly. What is really happening in the state here?
Well, Deepak, once the assembly elections concluded, one thought that there would be some end to the drama, at least as far as Karnataka is concerned, at least for a good few months. But evidently, of course, we've all been proven wrong time and again. And this, again, today, what happened in the assembly is just a testament to, how dramatic things can really be and how heated political temperatures can be. What we witnessed today was something that's not new to the state of Karnataka. We've seen protests earlier as well in the well of the assembly. We've seen drama. We've seen, bills being torn up. We've seen mics being switched off. We've seen the doors of the assembly being kicked open, people walking out. Having said that, what, of course, happened today is something that the BJP goes on their part to claim.
Neha, I'm going to interrupt you there. We have BJP MLA Vedavyas Kamath also right now joining us. I'm going to ask Mr. Kamath, I just asked, your colleague, Mr. Bharath Shetty, a little while ago, that do you feel that the behavior of, tearing paper, flinging it at the speaker's chair, is this something that the people expect from our elected representatives, Mr. Kamath?
See, one thing I want to tell, when the ruling government, अभी उनका 2 दिन में इधर बेंगलुरु में सारा उनका पॉलिटिकल प्रोग्राम था. वो प्रोग्राम के लिए वो लोग IAS IPS सारा ऑफिसर्स को वो लोग इन्वॉल्व किया और उनको पीए तरह या उनको ट्रीट किया और उनका सारा कौन पॉलिटिकल प्रोटोकॉल बिना प्रोटोकॉल वाला छोटा छोटा पॉलिटिकल पार्टी वाला कौन है उसको भी IAS ऑफिसर जाके सैल्यूट करने का जैसा एक सिचुएशन लगाया. इसलिए हम लोग प्रोटेस्ट किया. प्रोटेस्ट करने के बाद हम 10 बार 50 बार 100 बार गवर्नमेंट से मांग किया कि आईएएस और ऐसा सीनियर ऑफिसर्स को ये काम में ले जो आप लोग उनको डाल दिया वो गलत है, वो अब करने का नहीं था। वो गवर्नमेंट अननेसेसरी गवर्नमेंट फायदा उठा रहा है कि उनका पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम का काम के लिए गवर्नमेंट यूज कर रहा है आईएएस ऑफिसर को करके। हम स्ट्राइक करने के बाद फाइनली वो लोग हमारा बात मानने को तैयार नहीं है और गवर्नमेंट इस वाज टेलिंग हम लोग ऐसा करेंगे, आप लोग कौन ये बारे में ऐसा बातचीत करने के लिए, ये स्ट्राइक करने का हमारा जिम्मेदारी है और हमारा
कामत जी, कल सुबह 10 बजे आपने एक मीटिंग बुलाया है, बीजेपी एमएलए सारे मिलने वाले हैं और नेक्स्ट कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन डिसाइड करने वाले। ये नेक्स्ट कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन क्या होगा, बता सकते हैं आप हमें?
नहीं, एक मिनट, वो कल सुबह हम लोग, हमारा नेता सारा लोग पार्टी का प्रमुख और सब लोग लेके वो लोग डिसीजन लेंगे। लेकिन मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, इसका पहले एक 50-100-200 बार ऐसा हालत हुआ है कि कांग्रेस वाले ने क्या क्या हालत नहीं किया विधानसभा में। तब ऐसा ये कांग्रेस पार्टी का एक मिनिस्टर मांग करता है कि ऐसा सस्पेंड कर दो करके बोलो तो स्पीकर सस्पेंड करता है। तो स्पीकर को कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी नहीं है। स्पीकर परसों सोनिया गांधी जी को मिलने गया है। एक स्पीकर बोलो तो वो न्यूट्रल होना चाहिए। वो स्पीकर सोनिया गांधी जी को, राहुल गांधी जी को, मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे जी को मिलने को जाता है और कांग्रेस पार्टी वाला क्या मांग करता है वो सुनता है तो वो करने को बोलता है। तो ये सिस्टम, ये प्रजाप्रभुत्व का व्यवस्था किधर गया है, ये हमको हमारा मांग है। इसलिए हम लोग स्ट्राइक करता था और हमारा स्ट्राइक करने का वजह ये गवर्नमेंट सरकार का।
कामत जी, ये भी सुनने में आ रहा है कि आप गवर्नर के यहाँ जाएंगे कल। ये यहाँ पर क्या होगा, एक मेमोरेंडम सबमिट करेंगे करके बताया जा रहा है, कुछ बता सकते हैं उसके बारे में?
गवर्नर को भी मेमोरेंडम सबमिट करेंगे और गवर्नर को भी इंटरफेयर होने को बोले मांग करेंगे। उसका वजह से भी मैं एक बात करना चाहता हूँ कि आज हम लोग इतना मांग करने के बाद गवर्नमेंट अपना गलती मानता तो इतना ऐसा हालत नहीं होता। तो प्रोटेस्ट ज्यादा होने के बाद फाइनली स्पीकर क्या कर दिया, तुम क्या चाहे तो भी कर दो, हम कुछ करने वाला नहीं है करके गवर्नमेंट जब स्पीकर बोल दिया तो ये हालत होने के बाद आज हमको क्या उन लोगों ने सस्पेंड किया है। ये सस्पेंड इतना छोटा हुआ आज तक के लिए, वो लोग इतना बड़ा सस्पेंशन करता है तो आज ये प्रजाप्रभुत्व किधर गया है। आज कांग्रेस का लीडर्स ने ये ऐसा ही हजारों बार किया है।
लेकिन कामत जी, ये प्रश्न उठता है कि आपको क्या नौबत आ गई दैट यू हैड टू टेयर द पेपर एंड थ्रो इट एट द डेप्यूटी स्पीकर्स चेयर। दैट्स द क्वेश्चन दैट्स कमिंग अप। Nobody is questioning your right to protest. उसके बारे में कोई प्रश्न नहीं उठा रहा है।
No. Say one thing I want to tell. हम लोग 2 घंटे प्रोटेस्ट करने के बाद सरकार और स्पीकर वो सारा बिल पास कर चुके। सारा बिल पास करने के बाद हमारा प्रोटेस्ट के लिए हमारा मांग क्या है सुनने के तैयार नहीं है। आईएएस या आईपीएस को ऑफिसर्स को वो यूटिलाइज किया, वो भी मानने को तैयार नहीं है। प्रोटेस्ट करने का टाइम में प्रोटेस्ट का हालत ऐसा हो जाता कि 2 घंटा तक हमारा बात ही नहीं सुनना चाहता है। तो बोलो तो हम ये सिचुएशन वो आने के बाद ऐसा भी पेपर टेर किया करके बोलता है। पेपर टेर कांग्रेस का नेता लोगों ने कोई 25 साल से हजारों बार किया है, तो सस्पेंड किया क्या उसको? तो ये भी हम लोग हमारा ओपोजिशन का ओपोजिशन रिक्वेस्ट है वो लोग मानने को तैयार नहीं है। आज इधर हिटलर का सरकार अभी चला रहा है कांग्रेस, ये गलत है। हम इसको लिए हम सारा बीजेपी वाले कल सुबह 12।
ठीक है, धन्यवाद कामत जी हमसे बात करने के लिए। Let's open this up. We have some guests who are of course waiting very patiently and I want to really get perspective from them as well. Anand Gurumurthy from the BJP is with us, Dhruv Jatti from the Congress. We're also joined in by Syed Aslam Pasha from the JDS. All of them of course with us. Let me in fact first try and get a reaction from the Congress because we've had 2 MLAs speak. They've made it very clear. There's no reason to apologize, they say. They say that the right to protest lies with them. This was a major issue that needed to be discussed, but in the well of the House, no focus was being given to what the BJP was saying. Dhruv.
Deepak, they not only insulted the chair of the speaker, but also the entire sanctity, honor and decorum of the entire Karnataka Legislative Assembly. And I in fact questioned their intention simply because if they were serious about taking this issue, they would have gone ahead and filed a complaint based on the violations and not created a ruckus in the entire House. This is nothing but a sign of sheer frustration of the Bharatiya Janata Party and the JDS. And this comes in because of two important points. One being because the Bharatiya Janata Party is being probed in strictly by the Congress for their allegations on corruption. And two, that the people of Karnataka have been resonating and in sync with the guarantees that have been put forth by the Congress. And this is something that is not sitting right with the Bharatiya Janata Party. Now, the question of violation arises when there is an abuse of power. These people who were present at the program yesterday were nothing but the guests at the behest of the Chief Minister. And those remaining were Chief Ministers, Deputy Chief Ministers, and also those who fall under the protocol. So the question of violation doesn't arise in the first place. And now I have a very simple question. Does the H in the name of Mr. H.P. Kumaraswamy stand for hypocrite? Because I tell you why. When his oath-taking ceremony took place and the Mahagathbandhan was present, he provided the same amount of adequate security, including IAS personnel. And also, let me remind you that
okay, Dhruv, I'm going to butt in because we have Mr. R. Ashok, a very senior BJP MLA and also former minister, joining us on the phone line. Mr. Ashok, what we saw today was unprecedented. You know, the Congress says that you've insulted the chair of the House. This is unbecoming of MLAs.
No, I think we fight for the justice. The Congress party function, there's a political function in Taj West End Hotel. They use the IAS officers. There is no protocol. In the protocol rules also, there is no protocol for only ministers, chief ministers, then only awardees can give the protocol. Somebody came to that meeting. They are not MLA. They are not MP. How can they give on the... already we are in the loan. Karnataka government has a 35,000 crores loan. They are misusing the fund of the Karnataka fund. That's why we are protested. There is no room for the protocol, but misbehave the things. They are using the Karnataka poor people money. That's why we protested. Speaker is, we requested many times to Speaker, is not given, because Speaker also went to that meeting, went to that dinner meeting. He's not a political person. Once he becomes the Speaker, he's not a political person. How can we go the meeting?
Sir, but the question here is, you know, you're a veteran MLA. You, of course, know, some of the decorum that needs to be maintained in the assembly. Throwing paper at the Speaker's chair. Do you think that aspect could have not probably, you could have avoided that altogether?
Yeah, many times we requested. When our BJP government, that time Siddaramaiah and DK Kumar protested. Mr. Jamir Ahmad, that time he is MLA. He went to the Speaker and he thrown the mic to the Speaker. And Siddaramaiah went to he's hitting the door of the Speaker in the leg. How can it is possible? DK Kumar thrown the papers on Speaker. We are not suspended because you have to give the opportunity to the opposition leader. That's why we are not suspended. What now they are doing? Their decision of suspending is not fair. They have to give the opportunity to opposition leader. Does not happen. That's why when the Congress is protested,
right,
that's why we act like a gentleman. This time CM is not act like a gentleman. That's why we are protesting. Tomorrow we will meet the governor and give the requisition. Hello?
Right, Mr. Ashok. Thank you there for joining us on the phone line. That is former minister and BJP MLA, now who, of course, remains suspended till the end of this assembly session. Speaker, of course, suspending the BJP MLAs, a few of them, about 10, because they say that it was misconduct in the well of the assembly. Now, let me, in fact, bring in Syed Aslam Pasha from the JDS as well. The JDS is saying that they'll back the BJP in this entire drama that's going on. Mr. Aslam Pasha, the JDS, of course, was not a part of this drama that happened in the well of the House. But you're saying you're going to back the BJP. What are you going to back here? Are you going to back the cause of the IAS officer issue because that is something that Mr. Kumaraswamy took up? Or are you going to really back the behavior that we saw in the well of the House?
No, we are not going to back any behavior. Deepak, first of all, let me tell you, no doubt Congress has won 135 seats in Karnataka. But with that, they're carrying the arrogance to the assembly as well, which is absolutely uncalled for. We are asking, why did the state government of Karnataka use the IAS and IPS officers to, you have organized a political event. There was no need for you to use the IAS and the IPS officers. They are not the state guests. This was a political event, and this is not a state event. This is a political event which the Congress had organized. We are questioning. They should be in the assembly. The opposition has the right to ask the logical questions. In democracy, we are allowed to ask the questions irrespective of the majority which you have, which the Congress is having in the assembly. They should answer to the questions in a legitimate manner. Instead of answering these questions without any discussions, they pass the bills. That's absolutely uncalled for. We definitely in democracy, we are allowed to ask the questions. The ruling party has to give the answers. They cannot push and send the MLAs outside the assembly. They're supposed to answer this. They cannot show the arrogance. Today, whatever incident which has happened
Mr.
in the
Gurumurthy,
Karnataka Assembly,
I'll also bring in
that
Mr.
has brought
Gurumurthy quickly, because of course we've consumed a lot of time speaking to the MLAs. I've held back Mr. Gurumurthy, who's of course been patiently waiting. Well, Mr. Murthy, right now, of course, the right to protest remains with the BJP, but the behavior, of course, is something that anybody watching will say that was unwarranted.
Very clearly, I want to tell you one thing. Our MLAs were there for 2 hours requesting the speaker. The same speaker who had gone for the UPA meeting the previous night, which is totally not protocol. Number one, Congress has no answers for that. Number two, the same CM who talks so highly about his experience in Karnataka Assembly, if you observe the proceedings, he talks about his experience like as if he is the only guy who knows everything. Now breaches the protocols and makes the Chief Secretary of Karnataka a very, very, very well-read person, an IAS officer, bow to the opposition leaders because of the harkats these people are making them do. What was the necessity? And Congress has no answers for this. Next, third, why was money spent on these people to provide protocol? These officers are our officers. Why was money spent on that? Congress has no answers in the assembly. And then they have a budget which is a total bogus budget. They just wanted to pass that, and they have done this. Neither the Congress MLAs nor the Congress CM, the so-called deputy CM, none of them have any answers for anything. They are just showing their arrogance here. People are watching this, and you people from the media have to question them continuously on this. Otherwise, this state, already we have seen so many things, so many people getting
quickly. Let's put that question to Dhruv. Let's put that question to Dhruv. Dhruv, we've not had time to really ask this particular question because we've been delving on the aspect of the paper being flung at the speaker's chair. But what happens to this particular issue that the BJP is raising? They're saying IAS officers should not be used for personal reasons or for meetings which are not official in nature.
Deepak, a quick response to Mr. Aslam. On 21st May 2018, the IAS officer OS Patil was appointed to the Janata Dal, Mr. Danish Ali, when he was present for a rally that was put forth by H.D. Kumaraswamy's government. So where is the question of abuse over there? And to the Bharatiya Janata Party that so wildly goes and flunks papers out, what about the 21st May last year when the IAS officials themselves went ahead and in fact criticized the Bharatiya Janata Party for manhandling the IAS officers? Does the Bharatiya Janata Party really think that they are the voice of the IAS officials? And have the IAS officials even come forth and asked the Bharatiya Janata Party to come and protest? Deepak, the answer over here is very simple. This is a circus, and these legislators are wearing gowns of clowns in the assembly simply because they are fighting for the leader of opposition. And this is nothing but what I would say a big charade that the Bharatiya Janata Party leaders are playing just to show who's the strongest to become the LOP in the parliament. And all these legislators need to be suspended. And I commend and applaud Sri Yuti Kadir for doing this, because the democratic and the constitutional rights of the entire assembly must be upheld at any cost. And this, in fact, is the answer of not just the Congress party, but also the Kannadigas all across Karnataka, because we need issues to be raised in the parliament, which are in fact, very significant to the public and the people of Karnataka, and not that of the Bharatiya Janata Party's high command.
Okay. Right. Well, as far as the Congress, they are justifying the move of deploying IAS officers to receive, high dignitaries who had, of course, come here for the United Opposition meet. The BJP continues. Well,
They're trying to tell that they're right.
well, okay, Mr. Gurumurthy, we are short of time. 30 seconds. Go ahead. 30 seconds.
The party was manhandling IAS officers.
The dustbin.
Anand, which association was that? It was exactly a year ago. And which IAS
Mr. Gurumurthy, I have just 30 seconds. Make your point. Make your point quickly. I'll have to wrap.
Please tell me which.
Reason why our legislators
Dhruv, let him speak because he allowed you to speak.
Deepak, 25% the crime has increased. Please understand. The legislators are going to this extent because 25% the crime rate has increased since Siddaramaiah has become CM. They have thrown law and order to the dustbin in this state. Please question the Congress government. All you media people should start questioning the Congress government based on the police data. Please start questioning them. They are throwing law and order. They are not caring for any protocols, which is highest breach of trust of people's vote.
Okay. Right, Mr. Gurumurthy. Of course, this is an issue that, BJP as a party will be taking up once again in the floor of the House tomorrow is what they've said. They're also going to go to the governor is another aspect tomorrow to note. But interestingly, let's hope, of course, we don't witness the kind of drama that we're witnessing today. Because the people have elected the MLAs to go there, pass legislations, have fruitful debates and discussions, but that's not something that we saw happen today in the well of the House. I thank all the guests for joining us on this special broadcast. We're going to slip into a quick break, but news and updates continue on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
They have torn the papers, they have kicked the door, they have removed the mic of the speaker. Previously, Congress people.
It is illegal. This is a black mark to the Karnataka Assembly.
The speaker should be impartial. Speaker should not belong to any party. But whereas our speaker, he went and attended the Congress function yesterday.